I started playing drums when I was 10. That's when I actually started taking lessons, and I took lessons for a few years, but then I quit that. But I think that before that I was kind of playing drums. I didn't like have a drum set or anything, but my brother had like an old one, and I would just like fool around and just like have fun with it, not really knowing what I was doing. It's definitely a big stress reliever to just be able to get that out. You can use lots of energy for that. Do you know Wilka? Sometimes I like to play stuff like that. When I'm in like a much more mellow mood, I wouldn't play that to release stress. At least not in their hits. At least not in their big hits. Do the drums sound like complicated and intricate? But it was a shock to me when I was looking at the band members, and then I was reading about the drummer like Glenn Kochi, that he was ranked like in like the top 50 drummers of all time by Rolling Stone. So different from any other drummer because he did this more when he was like doing solo stuff and like not with Wilka. But he had all these like big like bells and like these metal pieces that like he like worked with like people to like construct in this specific way. There's all these bells, all these like little shakers and stuff on his drum set, and like it sounded like three people playing it. The tones of all these bells was a very musical standpoint, like very harmonic, because drums aren't a harmonic instrument. But he plays in such a harmonic way with all these bells. It's a very musical standpoint. He's talking a lot. And then I watch like a lot of videos of him, and in every single video he's like, oh, I have like a musical degree from like, and it's just like okay, I've had enough of this guy. Like, it was just funny that he was saying that in every single one. I've never seen anything like that. This was really interesting. I wanted to just like play in front of like big audiences, like music a lot, but I really liked senior musical because I was like able to do that, even if it was like, this was like a musical. It was like the kids singing. That was like the forefront of it. Even if like people weren't really paying attention to like the band in the back, it just felt great to like be on stage, and like that was a great experience. I really liked that a lot. They had half the band, they had hired other like professionals. I was improving. I was meeting like new people. It was a really great experience. Each performance, I really loved it. Once I'm like more comfortable and like having some free time, yeah, I definitely might bring my drums up, put them in one of the art rooms, get some kids together, and start jamming, see where that takes us. But no, definitely I'm not going to be stopping just because of college. But I've thought about that a lot. It's really great having my drums that accessible, whether it's in the basement that I can just go down there and play every day. Not having to like schedule a time to go to one of these rooms, walking across campus. It's like a spur of the moment thing. I don't like think, oh, I'm gonna go play the drums. I just like, it's great. So I thought it'd be interesting at one point to put them in my room, because like I have to go down to the basement. If they're in my room, I just like could just maybe like just spontaneously just like start playing. Where everything is the most comfortable reach. Just like minor little adjustments that just like each drum is the perfect arm's distance away. When I got my drum set, I wanted to have like a lot of individual drums. There's different, like not just bigger drum sets. A lot of them come in different ways. You can add to them, but this was a 7-piece. So all drum sets have their bass drum, the snare drum. Then most have one rack tom. Yeah, but this had like, anyway, this had seven pieces to it, which is a lot. Most jazz drumming is 4. And when I went up to a jazz camp at Amherst 2 summers ago, I was like, well, why bring all these drums if they're not really needed for jazz? And I never went back. I thought that having less drums means that I had to learn how to play more intricately to bring out more of a sound. And I really like that, and I just found out it wasn't necessary. A lot of drum sets are the same. I don't know if that'd be in special, like I guess to who's playing them. What I wish I did was had made more an investment in the quality of the drums than in the quantity of them. I had the same drum set, like my parents got me one when I first started playing when I was 10. And then like probably like 3 years ago, I got like a step up, a nicer drum set. And then recently I got like a small portable one. It's like quieter, it's softer. It's like called like a cocktail set. So when I if I was like to go somewhere and play something. No, I think it is special to me, and like the way that I tune the snare and really change everything up and stuff to just fit the way I like to play and the sticks I use and everything. There's definitely a big level of comfortability with it. There are a wide range of drumming styles, like Keith Moon from The Who, who's regarded as one of the greatest drummers of all time. Self-taught. I think everyone in The Who except John Entwistle their bassist was self-taught, which I think is crazy. Whereas like Radiohead, they all went to music school. Keith Moon was all over the drum. He was an insane person. He'd be on like all these drugs and stuff at like all his concerts. And it would just be radical, just like crazy fast, all over, out of control sounding playing. Whereas the jazz drummer like Buddy Rich, very, very famous, regarded as one of the greatest of all time, as well, had such a different style, which was very focused on dynamics, timing, intricacy, and just like on the snare drum and stuff. Whereas Phil Selway from Radiohead was very focused, and Ringo Starr from the Beatles, both of those drummers are very focused on playing to the song and playing from not overplaying at all. A big thing on drums is not only knowing when to play, knowing when not to play. And they're very focused on having the song benefit all from the drum and play something that fits the song. So there are many different approaches and styles but yeah, I think that many famous drummers all have different styles. There's many different ways. And I'm sure it's the same like that for every instrument. I'm less aware of it for other instruments because I know more about drums. I know what they're doing. A big thing is creating that style. It's not about that these parts are always so challenging to play. It's about thinking of them in respect to the song. I sometimes get like inspired by like some of these drummers for like a day after watching stuff that they do, but then I would just like go back to what I'm most into.